When I was a kid, life was easy. Even though I hated school, had almost no friends, and my home life was a little complicated, there was one thing I could turn to. Video games! Skyrim, Halo, Call of Duty, the pillars on which every filthy casual evolves into a Giga Chad epic gamer. Every day, it was wake up, school, think about games, get home, game, sleep, dream of games, rinse, repeat. On weekends, well, it was all games. Doritos, Mountain Dew Game Fuel, or Monster Assault. You know, the red stuff that had a cool digital camo pattern for Modern Warfare 2. And beyond that, as I got a bit older, it was Destiny, Final Fantasy XIV, GTA 5, and so many others that I've forgotten, but played a lot. When I was young, I wanted to work in games as an artist. Halo was my first love. The Spartan armor was so cool, I just had to get good enough to draw it. That was my goal. I drew every day for years and I had a knack for it. I still draw to this day, and most recently I've begun 3D modeling some of my designs. Somewhere along the way, games turned into a chore, and that's what I want to explore here with you today. I'll provide my rose-tinted perspective, and maybe we'll see if we can get down to the bottom of why we enjoy games in the first place, what might have happened to make us stop, and what we can do about it. So, why did I enjoy games? Because it provided me with an escape, a power fantasy, a place where I could actively conquer my fears, play on level ground, and level up and become better in real time. Instead of, "No, Big Timmy, don't steal my lunch money," it was, "1v1 me on Rust, bitch. Snipers and throwing knives only." Expletive, probably. A level playing field where I stood a good chance of winning that 1v1. And I don't know what happened, but compared to me as a kid, I suck at games now. Anyway, when I was a kid, I was so afraid of the world. The first time I ever played a game by myself, I snuck into my brother's room while he was gone, booted up that old OG Xbox, took a while to figure out how to actually start the game, and eventually landed myself balls deep in a Halo 2's first mission, baby. Yeah! Let's get some! And then I cried the first time I saw an alien, turned off the Xbox, and ran out of my brother's room. But I wasn't done. I came back, and I beat the brakes off that motherfucker. Probably shaking in fear the whole time, not knowing how I did it, but I did it, damn it. And that gave me all the courage I needed to play more. Eventually with permission. I even got good enough to play with my brother and his friends. Halo was all I could think about. I think regardless of the game, you probably had a unique but similar feeling, legendary first experience with a game that made them special to you. What made them special to us? Leave yours down in the comments. I love reading how people get into games. Maybe it'll provide some future game devs with the inspiration to make the next $1 million franchise that we all play and love. Who knows? So, why'd you stop? Was it the games that changed? Was it you? Was it both? It's probably both. The first time I remember feeling kind of let down by a game was with Destiny. I looked forward to that game harder than any other game I think ever. Something about Bungie and their marketing. I'm even still a little excited about Marathon. God, I hope it's good. But Destiny was a game that promised so much. I had it built up in my mind as this giant open world experience where you'd happen upon random exotic equipment similar to Skyrim. But that's really not what it was. It had almost no story, wasn't really open world, and required you to play with friends to do the actual fun stuff. Which I guess I can't fault the game for. Games are typically more fun with friends after all. And mechanically it made sense. But they promised that it would be at a much larger scale than it was. I still know life the game, but I felt kind of burned. For context, Destiny came out when I was in high school, a time when I started making a lot of friends and touching grass. So naturally my playtime decreased. Not to mention the existential crisis I think a lot of teens experience, not knowing what they want to do in life. Like I said before, I'd always just kind of thought I'd be an artist for games, which didn't work out, or at least it really hasn't worked out yet. I got into music around this time as well, and kind of switched from wanting to make game art to wanting to make music, which you're listening to right now, by the way. My point being that I naturally kind of drifted away from being able to spend a lot of time playing games because I wanted to experience other areas of life. This also coincided with the advent of shitty predatory pay-to-win loot box games coming out regularly. Games became less and less experimental and fun for all of us around that time, and it hasn't totally stopped since. Predatory games like this get called out regularly enough by much bigger names than myself, so I don't really feel the need to give you examples, but if you want some, go check out Charlie/MoistCritical or Asmongold. They talk about this stuff regularly, so I'll link their channels in the description. I think the takeaway here is that we all kind of grow away from having time to play games with our busy lives, as well as the games themselves being generally less inventive, less interesting, and in worst cases, flat out predatory and ill-will cash grabs. So, what can we do about it? First, let's look internally. Not all of us have a lot of time to dedicate to games, and we can't do anything about that. And that's okay, but what can we change about our attitude towards the games we play, and what actions can we take to falling back in love with games again? I'll tell you what's working for me. Within the last 2 years, I got myself a PS2 Slim. Why? Because I saw some old games being talked about that looked really fun and interesting, games that I had never had the chance to experience. Games like Steel Lancer Arena International, a game that I love to pieces, a game that's almost 20 years old. I'm a longtime mech nerd as well, so that kind of game is right up my alley. I might even make a video on that game because I know how slept on it is. But my point is, go back. Go back to the beginning, with the generation of games you fell in love with, and look around. There has to be something you didn't get to experience. If you don't want to invest in old hardware, consider getting a PC and emulating. It's free, bar the PC part, which I understand isn't cheap, but it's worth it. What else can we do? The old phrase, money talks, is true to some extent. We're already seeing a mass exodus of people making and buying predatory cash grabs in favor of real experiences and games that are just genuinely fun. Marvel Rivals is out, and although I'm not huge on hero shooters, I've been playing a little and generally enjoying my experience. Look forward to a lot more of these games coming. Games like Warhammer or Elden Ring, games that prioritize you having a genuine, enjoyable experience, games that prioritize the player. Lastly, shut off that nagging voice in the back of your head that says, I'm wasting my time, or I could be doing something else right now, and enjoy the game. Look at the skybox, walk around, look for things you didn't notice. Challenge yourself to find something beautiful or funny or unique in the games that you play, because you'll see that a lot of the people making these games care too. Look forward to new games again. Don't be afraid you're gonna get burned. And you might get burned. You might spend your hard-earned money on a game that either just doesn't deliver or, for whatever reason, just doesn't captivate you the way you'd hoped. And that's okay. There will be the one that does, eventually. And also, don't close yourself off to trying other genres of games like side-scrollers or fighting games or whatever else. Maybe even play with friends. If your friends don't play, find some. Go on some forums, hop on Discord, hop in my Discord, find a post, or make one. Go on YouTube or Reddit and get involved with the community. Maybe start your own YouTube or stream to Twitch. I know there's a few games I'm excited for. Marathon, Splitgate 2, Arc Raiders, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Fragpunk, Crimson Desert, and probably a few more, so look forward to watching me play some of those in the future. Look, I hope this helps. I know it's not an end-all be-all solution, but it's a start. If I provided you with even a sliver of hope at finding the passion in the pastime you once loved, then I've been guilty. Thank you for watching.
What the hell kind of name is
Guilty.